I'm just going to add this one point. Ladies, I'm talking to y'all the best way that I can. When a man shows you non-committal efforts, that means that he only shows up when it's convenient for him. It's not time to get performative, and it's not time to turn your people-pleasing on. It's not time to have those conversations with yourself. If I don't do this, I'll lose this person. Yes. If I don't do this, they'll be upset. If you know that you value commitment, and this person is showing non-committal efforts, leave them alone. Don't have conversations. Don't try to draw up conclusions. Don't go into this fantasy world. Leave that person alone. That's why I'm always talking about y'all have to know y'all self-worth, and you need to build your esteem up. So that way, in the moments that these happen, you don't have to have these questions. You immediately have that boundary, as Dr. B said. You immediately set that boundary, and you say, this person's not healthy for me. They don't align with my values and what I want for my life. I'm gonna let them be, because them leaving does not determine my worth.
What are some of the reasons a guy might be inconsistent that you're dating? Now, here is the thing. There are a slew of reasons why somebody might be inconsistent, and this is also why I go back to don't get too involved with somebody off the bat. Don't get so invested. Don't start texting somebody. Don't start putting all of your eggs in that basket super early on in the relationship, because when you are anxious or you suffer from anxiety, we are very hyper attuned to a change in behavior, because growing up, that was kind of a defense mechanism. You had to be really attuned to your caregivers, and if anything changed, it was a protection mechanism. So now as an adult, you notice every little fucking thing that happens and transpires. Thus, it causes anxiety, it breeds it, then you push the other person away even more because you start feeling anxious. It's this like really vicious cycle that's perpetuated. So the reason that I'm not going to list out all the answers is because at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. What matters is the person's behavior is inconsistent. When you have anxiety, or even if you're super secure, it doesn't really fucking matter at the end of the day. But when you're dating somebody that starts being inconsistent, they don't need to have a laundry list of like, maybe it could be this and maybe it could be that, because you can create every scenario. It could be that the person's not emotionally available. It could be the person that is dating somebody else and was dating two people at the same time. It could be that the person just doesn't think you guys are compatible, so they started pulling away. And that is more so the issue. When you go really, really strong with somebody and then they start pulling away, it feels even more devastating, as opposed to if it's in the early stages and you're just having a few dates and you look at them as it's just a date and that's it. You don't feel as devastated and crushed when they start acting inconsistent. But I'll say this, if somebody does start giving you hot and cold, that is when you put that boundary up and say no fucking thank you and walk away. Do not have time for breadcrumbs, and do not have some time for somebody that is just going to act so unsure around you that it then starts to make you feel like you're questioning your own judgment and starts to make you feel anxious. At that point, it's truly not fucking worth it. So it doesn't matter what the reasons are. All you need to know is they're being inconsistent. Move on to somebody that is going to be consistent with you every single time. The person you go to bed with is the person you wake up to. It should be the same.
Inconsistency. The moment you start going on this emotional roller coaster, I'm done. Because I don't have the time, energy, or patience to sit here and wait on you to figure out what you want, who you want to do it with, and where you want to be. Because when someone is inconsistent with you, one of two things is happening here. Either they're just not that into you, or they are into you, but they have other elements that are affecting the capacity to give you their time and their energy, like emotional issues, or they're busy with work or building a business or familial things or just previous traumas. And whichever way you flip that coin, it's none of my concern. And the thing that works for me but sucks for the men who are interested but inconsistent with me is that I can still respond to your text messages, answer your phone calls if I'm not busy. We can hang out if I don't got nothing else to do. Because once I've mentally detached, I no longer have any interest in developing a relationship with you. So at this point, you just a homie. And then when they come back around, because baby, they will absolutely come back around, they're going to be so mad because they're not understanding how I was keeping up communication with them, but I don't want to be with them, or I don't want to entertain them. When people show you who they are, believe them. Because if they were inconsistent just because they were going through that thing, they'll be inconsistent again when they're going through something else. Bye.
Ladies, when will you stop making excuses for guys? Men are very assertive and they go for exactly what they want. If they want you, you will know. If they don't want you, they become inconsistent. They love bomb you. Now, for those of you at the back that doesn't know what love bombing means, love bombing is when a guy showers you with so much love at a time, then he disappears for a while, make you chase the love he gave to you, and then come back and pretend as if nothing happened. And you, as the Mrs. Desperate, you sit down there calmly waiting for him while he messes up with your mental health. Any man that love bombs you does not love you. He doesn't love you. If any man is inconsistent in his ways with you, he doesn't love you. Stop making excuses for that guy. He doesn't love you enough. That is why he is inconsistent. Or you are option B. And the reason why you are option B is because he has been able to conquer you. You know, he knows your pattern. He knows that he can always come back to you anytime he likes, and you will accept him. That is why he keeps behaving like that. But on this episode, I'm going to teach you how to win your dignity back, how to make him chase you again. First of all, I know it is very difficult, but become unpredictable. Become unpredictable to this guy. If you post 5 times a day before, start posting maybe once or twice or 10 times, right? Then his calls, if he even tries to reach out to you, do not pick his calls. Do not pick his calls. Then stop checking his social media. Stop checking his WhatsApp status. Stop trailing him on social media, right? Become so busy that you won't even have time. Okay, if you must even pick his calls and tell him, sorry, I'm in the middle of something, let me call you back. Or you cut his call and chat him up. Hey, what's up? I'm kind of busy at the moment. Can I call you back? Then leave it. Leave some of his messages unattended to if he ever gets to reach out to you. When you go out with your girls, post it. Post the pictures and videos so he will see how happy you are doing without him. And when he comments, do not respond. If he calls you to say he's coming to your house, tell him you are not around. The best way to get a man that is not so interested in you is by being uninterested in him. Men love to chase. They love to chase women. Become so unavailable to him that he will start chasing you. That is the hack around it. It is not when you prove to him that, okay, he should choose you, that he will choose you. No. Men don't like free things. They like to earn things. They like to work for things.
If a man is inconsistent, that's a red flag. Let me play this up for you properly. Inconsistent behavior in dating or relationships isn't harmless. It has a real impact. Emotionally, it creates confusion. One minute you feel wanted, the next you feel dismissed. It triggers self-doubt, like, did I do something wrong? Am I not enough? And it leads to insecurity, constantly questioning where you stand. Mentally, it fuels overthinking, replaying texts, tone, or actions, trying to decode mixed signals. It builds anxiety, waiting for the next call or message. That can become stressful. It can even feel like gaslighting, second-guessing your reality because his actions don't match his words. But here's the truth. Inconsistency isn't about you. Men aren't inconsistent because you did something wrong. Nah, they're inconsistent because they're not clear, not ready, or not capable of showing up in the way that you want or deserve. Now, there are a few reasons for this. It could be the obvious. The initial thrill has faded and that adrenaline high has calmed down. This can cause some men to pull back because they were actually more excited about the chase than building something real. It could be that he has unclear intentions. In other words, he doesn't know what he really wants. He might be unsure whether he wants to keep it casual or build into a relationship, and that's going to reflect in his behavior. Hot one day, cold the next. Maybe he is distracted by what he believes to be other options. Perhaps social media and dating apps have got him jumping between conversations, so because he's not focused on one person, his signals can be coming across mixed. It could be a genuine fear of intimacy. Getting closer requires vulnerability, and some men pull away when things feel too real because it brings up fear of rejection, commitment, or losing independence. Or it could simply be because of immaturity or lack of effort. Being consistent requires emotional maturity. If he's not there yet, you'll feel it in how unreliable he is with communication and just being present. Bottom line, inconsistency is a reflection of him, not you. Inconsistency is clarity. He's showing you he's not ready, so believe him.
If he's inconsistent, let him consistently feel your absence. If he can easily act like you don't exist, then remove yourself completely from his life. Drop him and then drop off the face of the earth. And the next time he tries to pop up whenever he wants, you will not be available and he won't know where to find you. Know your worth and leave that man alone. Inconsistency should be the most unattractive trait in a man because it is the clearest sign that he is not that into you. He's got other options and he can't make up his mind. That man is checking in on you every few weeks or months with nothing to say every single time, adding no value to your life. He's just looking for attention, and once he sees that he's still got you on the hook, he disappears again. If you keep letting him back in, you're just showing him that you're the pop in, pop out girl, and you're cool with it. He's checking in with you as often as someone would take a little vacation, a weekend getaway, like you're a damn hotel, and you're still allowing space for him in your life. You've given him a standing VIP reservation when he's got 0 loyalty points. You're acting like he's platinum status when he's giving aluminum foil effort. No more. Take his name off the reservation list. The next time he tries to check in, access will be denied. Sorry, I don't see anything under that name. You're at the wrong location. You know what? There's a Days Inn down the street. Best of luck. Next in line, consistent and intentional men only.
It is so easy to know when a man is not interested in you because he be inconsistent. Why call him all the time, texting him all the time when he's not responding to you and he's so busy? No man will ever be busy for something that he wants. When a man is interested in you, you don't need to chase him. He'll chase you down, I promise you that. So you don't need to keep ringing his phone and oh, you're not answering my call. I'm seeing you online. Oh, I'm busy, girl. He's not busy. You're just not the one. And you're chasing him, then that's what he wants. He wants to be chased. A man that wants you, you don't have to do nothing. He will come get you. He won't miss no calls. He will reply to your text messages. You don't have to second guess nothing. Because why? He wants you. He sees what he wants. Men are hunters. So if you talking to somebody, you realize that they're inconsistent, don't waste your time. Why would you still ringing on their phone, calling and text them? Why? Some of you like, oh, you're so cute. The conversation was so nice. I want to establish a relationship with him. He doesn't want to establish no relationship with you. Walk away. You're not even losing somebody you just met. Some of y'all want to see, some of y'all see red flag. I want to see how red the flag can get. You already wasted a couple weeks, couple months. What do you want to waste? Couple years? Baby into it, have some investment in it. Cat sense.
Growth is realizing that inconsistency is a sign for you to step back and not a challenge for you to prove your worth. And I think we all need to engrave this into our mind, body, and souls because this is so important. If someone is being inconsistent with you, they don't care. It's simple as that. They don't care about your feelings. They don't care how it affects you. They don't care that it literally can alter your entire day, your entire mentality. They don't care. Like if someone starts out being super, super consistent, calling, texting, sending voice notes, doing the most, in that first initial stage of meeting and getting to know each other, they're super consistent. And then all of a sudden, they start to become inconsistent. Something has changed in the dynamic, and it might be something that you're unaware of. So instead of trying to prove your worth, of course, you can ask questions, try to figure it out. But if that doesn't change, if they continue to be inconsistent, it's time to exit. You don't have to prove yourself to anybody. You know what you bring to the table. You know your worth. And if they can't see that and they cannot honor you by being consistent, one of the easiest things to do, you got to leave. Somebody out there is going to be consistent with you, period.
If someone is inconsistent with you in dating, do this. First of all, remember you have walkaway power. You do not have to convince anyone to be with you. As the woman, here's something you could say. Hey, it feels so good to get to talk to you. And for me, when you disappear for long periods of time, it makes me feel like you're not really serious about this. When I date someone, it makes me feel safe when I hear consistently from them. If that's not something you feel like you can do, that's totally okay, but I'm going to have to move forward.
Ladies, check it out. A man who's inconsistent will always have you questioning your sanity. Boo, you not crazy. He just inconsistent. Hot and cold. His on and off is confusing. It's confusing. And here you are thinking you did something wrong. No, he just doesn't know how to stay consistent, know how to follow through on his words. It ain't nothing wrong with you. He just don't know what he want. And so you got to let him go so you can find what you want, fam.
You don't need clarity. His inconsistency is your clarity. His inconsistent phone calls and text messages, the broken promises, hot and cold emotions. You don't need clarity. You've already been given that, because a man who cares, he's not inconsistent. He's going to show you, and you're going to know.
Man ain't being hot or cold or inconsistent. He really just wants power. The power over your attention. The ability to have you waiting for his text or his call, or waiting on him to come see you, or waiting on him to give you that attention you want, or waiting for him to commit, or wait. Small gestures to keep you waiting. Because when he's ready for attention, you right there, and it gives him this sense of power and validation that he's special because he got a woman waiting on his call, right? That's why he gives you attention and then ghosts you. Because then you show him how much you really care by calling him. Where you at? Where you? I miss you, and this and another. When we gonna hang again? And that makes him feel more of a man, more desirable. That man ain't being hot and cold. He's doing this on purpose to breadcrumbing you into waiting and wanting for attention that he can choose to give to you when and where he wants to, in a mode and effort to manipulate you to make him feel better about himself.
Inconsistent is a no. Inconsistent is the first sign that he is not interested in you or he has someone else. It's like he has 1 foot in with you and 1 foot out with you. That inconsistent man will have you single for the rest of your life, filling your head up with nothing but sweet lies. Move on with your life and date. He's occupied with someone else. Juggling 2 women at the same time can be a very difficult task. One of you go get the short end of the stick, and usually it's the one that he's least interested in. You can't find Mr. Right hanging on to Mr. Wrong. Leave that inconsistent man alone and move on with your life and date. You're a backup plan. He's occupied with someone else. Trust me. Be smart, date smart, choose wisely, Nat Nation. And remember, I told you.
Ladies, why would a man just start acting inconsistent? Like, this is a guy you've been dating like for a minute, or maybe, you guys are kind of official, whatever it is. But like, out of nowhere, this dude's just acting mad inconsistent with maybe plans, text messages, calls. Like, nothing's consistent with this guy. There's always an excuse, or there's always like, I forgot, or oh, I fell asleep, or oh, I was busy, or oh, I was working all the time now, right? Why is that happening? Me personally, as a man, the only reason why I would think a man would do that is because it's a manipulation tactic. It's just for control. He's watched Fresh and Fit. He's watched all those red pill shit. Number 2, he's just losing interest. Number 3, he could be trying to punish you. Maybe he felt like he was putting in a lot of work in the beginning and you wasn't. So now he's trying to make you do it. You know what I'm saying? So I hope that helped y'all out for sure.
I'm not the type of girl that you can just leave alone for a couple days and then you pop back up and think everything gonna be cool. Baby, when you was gone, I had already made myself forget about you. I've already brainwashed myself into believing that experience didn't even really happen for real. I didn't even really meet that man for real. I never even really gave him my number for real. We never even really stayed up on the phone all night for real. Like, I'm sorry. After a couple days of me being on ice and a couple of those thoughts that sound like, why he ain't texting me when he said he was gonna text, or why he didn't call when he said he was gonna call, or I ain't heard from him. He said he was gonna check up on me sometime this week and he ain't. As soon as I get like 5 or 6 of those thoughts, only thing I know how to do is leave. I'm sorry. I can't say whether this is healthy or not. This is not advice either. I'm just speaking for me and the baggage that I got. And my type of baggage means that as soon as I get the perception that you're acting funny, I'm gonna act hilarious. By the time you come back and you want to kiki and you want to laugh, you can go to text me and the bubbles is gonna be green. And I don't know what to tell you about that. You should have stayed on your position when you had your position. Now it has to be filled. I'm sorry. And again, this is not advice, because I'm quite certain that this is a trauma response of mine. But I'm just letting you know how it is, baby. You put me on ice, you come back, it's gonna be melted.
Someone asked me on my previous video that I made about men purposely choosing to be inconsistent and to deprive you of affection and attention on purpose to destabilize you emotionally. Okay, so I'm going to tell you why they do this. Okay, so reason number one is to train you. He's trying to train you like a dog. He's trying to condition you to accept the relationship being on his terms, communicating with you when he wants to, seeing you when he can, accepting contact on his terms, on his timeline, hooking your nervous system so that way you stay hopeful, okay? Right? You become like a puppet almost. Okay, so if you guys touch and agree on certain times, right? Like, okay, well, we'll do X at 3:00, right? They have to. It's like they're on your terms. He's on your turf in a way, right? But if I can just have this relationship to where whenever I'm gonna be around or in the area, even if it's probably 9:30 or 9, or maybe this day is 8, or maybe this day is another time, I can just hit her up, and if I'm in the mood and if I want to, then she'll be available. Like it starts to become on his terms, okay, which is more convenient for him. Reason number two, men are not likable. Nobody likes them, right? Women can foster relationships without games. Everybody want to be around us. Men want to be around us. Women want to be around us. Like, my friends is always trying to hit me with something to do. Girl, let's do it. Women want to be around you. Children want to be around you. Everybody want to be around women, and we don't have to play games with them in order to get them around us. Nobody fucking likes men. Nobody likes them. That's why they got to play games. They cannot get you to stay in their orbit without games, and they know it. They do not build likability through their character, through reliability, being thoughtful, present, all of those things. They don't build likability that way, okay? They manufacture an attachment, okay? That's how they keep you near them. See, what character costs too much, right? It's just like kind of like what I told you already, right? When Billy sees Alex getting praise, like, oh my God, like, Alex, you're doing such a good job, like, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. Alex had to hand in all of his assignments in early. He had to pay attention in class and be good to his peers. He had to do all of his homework. He had to study. That praise was granted to him over time, over him being disciplined and showing discipline of being a good student. That's how he gets that praise, right? Little Billy says that's too much work. I ain't doing that. Like, I can get the same type of attention if I just act out. Okay, tension is cheaper than character. Okay, so which is going to bring me into reason number 3, which the reason why they do this is the same reason why women's rights were stripped away. It's the same reason why you could not work, could not get a bank account, could not go to school, could not have a career, could not do anything. Women had no rights, right? It was to get women to be binded to the male, right? And they didn't have to be good husbands. They didn't have to be good fathers. They didn't have to be nothing. They didn't have to do shit. Okay? You got to get you a husband because you can't get shit without it. Okay? You don't have no human rights unless you have a husband. And in a way, it was for the same reason. They knew that is how you're going to get all of these men, okay, to have a wife, right? Men have to get into binding contracts. They have to get wives and children's and then children's. They have to get wives and children, and they have to trick people to stay around them. Okay? Because they know that when we have other options, okay, we are going to choose those other options. And they should look more inward instead of, they kind of blame us for it. Like, oh, like women, they want to do this, they want to do that, right? That's why career women get so much hate and stuff like that. When really, if you were actually a likable person, like, men don't do nothing to be liked. If they were actually likable people, we would want to be around them. They wouldn't need to play games for us to want to be around them. But the truth is, they don't do shit to be liked. Like that loser that you stressing out about. When's the last time that man probably don't do jack shit to be liked by you? The only thing that you can probably think of that he's done to be liked probably happened in the first 5 seconds of the relationship, right? He don't do nothing to be liked, most likely. Okay, this is why women don't like, people don't like being around men. Reason number 4, for an ego boost. Okay, their own sense of value and worth is shaky, and how else can they feel valuable but to have another human being emotions and or behavior controlled by their behavior? That is the place from which they find and get their value and their self-worth. Makes them feel worthy, makes their egos lifted. Is men are literally just following a script. Their ability to be free thinkers and to think creatively and to observe and apply different tactics to each situation and to different people, it's almost non-existent, right? So they're kind of just following a script so they associate a certain reaction to something else, and they just continue displaying that same behavior because they realize that the reaction that was outputted is the reaction that they wanted, right? So they're kind of like operating like, okay, well, this is a woman, so she's going to be the same. She's going to do the same thing as the women from before that, right? And they're kind of just like running on a script. They don't actually stop to observe each woman. They kind of just do the same thing. Like, it worked for the women before. I worked for the women before. I'm going to keep doing this. And the last and final reason is the extraction of value. I don't remember where I saw this quote or this analogy, but the person was basically saying that Chanel bags cost $10,000, right? Imagine the owner of Chanel getting amnesia, right? And she doesn't remember how much her bags cost, but everybody comes inside of the Chanel store to get the bag, and because she forgets, they are trying to give Chanel $100 for the bag, for her $10,000 bag. And Chanel is like so happy over it because like, oh, they're giving me, you know, all these bags are here and everybody's coming and buying them, right? Because she forgot her value. A man's life can jump levels, right? With a woman who he can control, or just a woman who's fully invested in him, right? His life can jump levels. There is intangible resources that women can offer to men, and it can help them literally jump levels in life. But just imagine if they can extract this from you in a way where you do not really understand that what's being extracted from you is actually valuable. It makes it so much easier for the other person.
If a guy is ignoring you right now, I want to remind you that it is never too late to call your energy back. And if you want to show him that you're not the type of girl that he can just ghost and treat like a second option, this is what you're going to do. Number 1, it's not about what he does, it's about how you respond to it. If you're letting his absence dictate your emotions and you're crying and you're getting upset and you're spending all your time and energy on this man, you are letting him win. You have to be unbothered by it. You can get to a place where you don't care whether or not they reply back to you is when you call your energy back. Men can feel your energy even if you are just thinking about him and worrying. They can feel that energy coming from you. But when you're unbothered, you're not checking for your message. You're not waiting around on them. You're looking for a man that's going to go above and beyond for you, giving you princess treatment. So if he can't give you a text back, you get the ick immediately, okay? You have to start getting the ick with men that are inconsistent with you. Getting a text message is the bare minimum. And being consistent with you is the bare minimum. You are not the type of girl that waits around for a text, period. And you call your energy back by not giving a shit about what he is or isn't doing. It's either he meets your requirements and your standards, or you don't even care to entertain him. You're off to the next guy.
Things men will never tell women, but are very obvious. If his definition of you giving him space involves inconsistency over the week, and he still ignores you during the day, he really just wants the benefits of having you without having you. And the benefits can range from you just giving them a simple compliment or you just being in the same space that they occupy. See, a common misconception that a lot of people tend to make is mistaking an alienation for space. 9 times out of 10, they don't even realize that they're being alienated but used for one thing, whether it be for external validation or bedroom intimacy. And they don't just alienate your presence, they also alienate the identity that you come with. They literally forget every single piece of information about you that may be vital to you, and they just look at what's in front of them. In other words, you're just a piece of meat due to the fact that they disassociate with anything that has to do with sentimental feelings towards you. In other words, you're an asset, but only to him, and you're not the same asset that you think you're being viewed as. And that's also the explanation as to why he isn't just telling you f off, but he's giving you f off energy. See, he's giving you his definition of space, but that may not apply to anyone else. And I know he makes you feel like the center of the universe, but that's the point. Having that person you actually want, fulfilling that expectation in your mind, of course you're going to feel like the center of the universe. The reality is if they weren't them and they were the opposite of themselves, we would have no problem leaving. Because you know how you treat every other in your messages. If he was every other, you would have no problem leaving. And I know that it's a hard pill to swallow, but he really is just every other, just stands out. And stands out to you. Sometimes you got to ask yourself, what am I really attracted to? Because for every emotionally unavailable man that you run into, there will always be a woman that exists that is being put through the ringer the same way you are currently. At this point, he's really just sitting there and taking in all the benefits that you come along with. And a week of inconsistency is actually me being generous. See, a man that actually liked you would at least give you an explanation, but even him not replying feeds into the mystery even more for a lot of people. So when you already have those preconceived notions, you're not doing nothing but giving him more material to work on. You then become accessible to him and are labeled as so because his definition of space doesn't involve a smidge of closure for you. And he's not doing much relationship-related self-reflecting when it comes to being with you that you think he's doing. That's just the impression that they want you to have so the dream stays alive in your mind, otherwise you wouldn't be in the conundrum. Otherwise, he'd just be with you. He wants you to be in limbo. He knows that you're still useful in other ways, but not the way that you want him. He's self-reflecting, just inside of someone else. Niggas are already preconditioned to be territorial over their significant other, tall or small, so he's not going to go and do the opposite if he actually likes you. In other words, why would he intentionally aim for the same foot that got him in the door in the first place? He just don't fuck with you the long way. No man intentionally shoots himself in the foot out of a relationship they actually wanted, unless they despise you and only desire the assets that you come along with. It may go unnoticed, but if you're already giving them the green light to come back as he pleases and he already knows you'll say yes, which is why he does, he pretty much already built the boundary that he's crossed several times. People are just told the right thing by the person that they actually want, so they don't even realize that it's being crossed. He'll start with an inch, but once he realizes how easy it was to acquire that inch, he'll then take a foot. At that moment, the realization that he actually got your is eventually going to click, so his responses become more longer and more difficult for you to receive. But as long as you keep replying and waiting it out, he'll feel as if he can stretch and expand the situationship into his third season. You're pretty much viewed as a Netflix special that he cannot commit to. Like he'll miss certain pieces of information, but he only skips to the good parts. A good chunk of the men that y'all like are really just taking advantage of the fact that you like them and testing your flexibility, in all ways. He's turning you into a back burner, John. He's trying to see how much you're able to bend. He wants to see the hoop that you go through. It's like that age-old trope about how women say, when I say goodbye, I don't really mean goodbye. I want you to chase. Same just less effort and a lot less commitment. Like, depending upon how sick they are, they're not going to tell you, oh, chase me, because that would go against the whole point to begin with. We all know that it's toxic. Do the same. It's just slightly different and indirectly. There's a lot of reverse psychology and breadcrumbing included to give you as little as possible. Most of the time, little to no answer. By already being aware that you desire a relationship with him specifically, most of the work for him is done by you just liking him. A man that actually desires you views your cleanness for the most part as affection. A lot of men that viewed y'all as an annoyance just told you it was annoying, and it would make perfect sense. Separating himself from you gives your mind the ability to run off with any speculation that you can come up with if we're being honest. And if the speculations favor him, all he has to do is tell you the right set of shit. You want him to not be deceiving because you like him, but that simply ain't the case. Nobody wants to worry about the worst case scenario, but for the most part for this, that's what that means. It is worst case, not a Disney production.